Hello and welcome to Gutter Farms. We're back with another episode of Flint Hills by JS Mapping, and yes, we're still fighting with Courseplay. I tried a whole bunch of different things and we're just not getting these double hopper trailers to work with the more recent versions of Courseplay here. And so we're gonna go ahead and switch out to a different trailer. And this trailer has the added bonus, I guess, of being a little bit bigger. And so what I found was there is a Wilson pace setter that's been modified to have just a single fill volume. And so it's going to be treated like a single hopper trailer from a loading and unloading mechanic. So it's a lot more friendly for Courseplay in theory. So we're going to try it out and see if it works. It still looks like it's a double hopper, so we're gonna sacrifice a little bit of realism, but I think it's gonna save a whole lot of sanity, so we're gonna see how that goes. I've got a course set up here, so I want to be able to test this completely. So what I want to do is get both of these trucks on the same course and parked up kind of behind each other like they would be if I was running all of this. And hopefully they're going to detect traffic and not have any of those kind of problems. So that's what we're testing here first, is just to make sure that we're going to be able to have two trucks on this course at the same time. Alright, it looks like he's successfully detected traffic. And so then all we need to do is set up an overloader course here real quick. We're going to want to change this to not have this guy drive on until he's emptied. So I guess I'll put it at like 5%. We're on the overloader course where I want my start point to be. So we're going to go ahead and hit start course here. And then just like before, we're going to come way down here to the end, and then we're going to turn around and come in facing it. Now, my trucks are a little bit farther forward than they were before, I think, which is okay. We just got to do our hairpin here a little bit farther away. And then we should start dumping here. Now, I don't know if I'm too far forward yet or not, but we're gonna actually pull away here already and have this guy actually run the course. So I think if we do something like this, we're good to go. He'll figure out where he needs to go. And we're gonna drive this from the very beginning and just let him go. I'm gonna be surprised if this doesn't work. There we go. Now, in theory, as soon as this guy gets full, the next semi should pull forward, and we should sit here and wait until we're at or below 5%. I rolled it down to at or below 1% just because I wanted to make sure we got a chance to test this. And so this other semi did not pull forward nearly as far as the lead semi, which I do not understand. So we're going to stop the overload course. I'm going to pull this back forward just a smidge to see if we can balance those two things out. I have no idea why that semi would stop so much farther behind the other one. But we're going to just empty our guy out. We're going to call this good enough. And we're going to assume that this is going to figure it out. And I'm going to go ahead and start up our combines again because they stopped due to us leaving the game. Alright, so I've got both combines going again here. We're going to jump back into the grain cart down here and set up which combines that he is going to empty, which is the two of these guys. And then we're going to tell him to go ahead and drive course. We're going to set that back up at 5% for the future, since we'll come into here full usually. And it looks like he's going to be off to the races right away on emptying somebody, which means there's a combine that's already under 50%. or over 50% fill, which is crazy. There's just so much corn. I mean, the fact that you can't even get to the end of the field with the largest hopper that we've got is crazy to me. So we're gonna let this guy go here. The only thing I don't like about this method is that we have the annoying messages for the semi trucks again. I can get rid of the blue ones easily enough, but the in traffic ones are a little bit harder to remove, and so I'm not sure I'm gonna really like how this is set up, but we're gonna give it a try, and at least it's gonna work, I hope, because while we could have got away with figuring something out for this field, because this isn't that big of a field, although we are getting just a astronomical amount of corn here, as we get into that really large field, there's just no way I could do that manually. So if we can't get the automation working, it would be next to impossible to actually go through and harvest all of that corn. It would take me, tens of hours to do that manually, I think. So this should work out a lot better, and we're gonna just follow along and see how this goes. All right, so here's the real test. We've got a full grain cart, and we're gonna come in and hopefully see that automation is gonna do this whole unload. If it does, I think I've got good ideas on how we can tackle field 21. I do think we're gonna add another grain cart. We'll likely go back down to 2 smaller grain carts and put one on each combine, and then give each grain cart a dedicated semi. I think that that's gonna help out a little bit, cut down on some of the oddities with the semis waiting in traffic, but I just want to see that this works, kind of prove out that oh, combine, what are you doing? You are messing up this experiment. So this is interesting, right? Because I had to move that waypoint back before, I thought. Oh, I'm getting frustrated. All right, one more time from the beginning. And like I was saying, I think that having the semis on their own courses, so they always come back in and they're not doing this weird waiting thing, is going to be preferable, because I think the issue we're going to have is that if they don't wait, they're coming into this course faster, so they get farther along. Because you remember last time our semi was parked way up here. And so this is going to work fine for this semi. It looks like our grain fill plane is falling through the floor there. That's unfortunate. Let me take a look here. Yeah, our grain is hanging out through the bottom of this trailer. It fixed itself. Craziness. And he's driving away. Why is he driving away? He's nowhere near full. So I'm very confused by the behavior of the semi-trucks right now. All right, so we've finally got a mostly full grain cart here. And we got just the one semi set up over here right now. And so we're going to see if simplifying this course a little bit is going to help us out in getting this to all work correctly. Now, I've been playing around with this. I've got about 2 hours of outtakes. I'm sure you guys don't want to listen to me swearing at Courseplay for 2 hours straight. So we are going to give this a shot. I'm beginning to think that there's some, I don't want to say conflict, but the behavior for the semis driving into a course to unload versus the overload course. I don't know that it was having 2 semis on the course so much as when there's a grain cart parked here, I think we're going to see different behavior from the truck than if the truck pulls up without a grain cart here. And so we're going to try that out real quick here. Now, this is what we expected from before, where the grain cart kind of pulls up way ahead of the point, and he's going to unload into this truck, and this truck is where he would be if he came into this course without any grain cart sitting here. And so what I think is going to happen is we're going to sit here and wait, because we're not at our drive on at less than number yet. So we'll only leave if we're at less than 5%. And so what should happen is that semi is going to go dump this corn real quick, and he's going to come back in here. And what I hope happens is he pulls back up to where he was, and we unload our corn into him. What I think is going to happen is he's going to come into his course, see the grain cart, and he's going to stop just ahead of it for some reason. And that's the behavior that I don't know how we're going to fix. So he's coming back up here into this course now, and I expect that he's going to get straightened out here. He should open his cover in just a second. And as soon as he detects that auger, he stops. The problem is he stops before the auger trigger is over the wagon, so the wagon can't unload into him. So at this point, I don't know what to do about this course now. So at this point, I don't know if it's also maybe just the trailer. So I'm going to swap back to the Demco trailer for just a moment and see if that works any differently. So we're coming in here with the Demco trailer, and it looks like it's going to do the exact same thing. So there's just something with the semi courses here that don't want to work with the overload mode for whatever reason. All right, so I have finally snapped. We're busting out all kinds of new things. So we have 2 new grain carts here. We're going to go ahead and get them hooked up to these tractors. We're going to run a grain cart per combine because otherwise I don't think we're going to be able to keep up. And as you can see, we have AutoDrive installed. And so we're going to leverage AutoDrive to help us out here. I think AutoDrive is going to work out a lot better for the trucks unloading from the field edge. And I think that hopefully with the way we're going to set this up, we'll have a much better luck with Courseplay as well. And so if we drive this out to the field real quick, I want to get at least one of these Courseplay grain cart drivers going. All right, so we're here with another attempt at how I want to set this up with Courseplay and AutoDrive. So we've got an AutoDrive course set up for the truck. Seems to be working pretty well. And so I'm going to set up an overloader course here, and we're going to try and have the overloaders dump straight into the semi, because I think this is going to work out all right. And we've got the single hopper trailers set up here just because that's going to work out a lot better for us, I think. And then we're going to come up here and say stop. Now, those trucks are good to go. I've got this course. I'm going to save this and call it Field 16 Overloader with Overloader Auto Drive. Just so that if I exit the game, I don't have to re-record this. And then what I want to do is get the previews on so I can see where it's at. And I want to tell this to go to the first course drive. If I'm less than 10%, I'm going to move on. Otherwise, I'm going to stick around and wait for a truck to come and unload me because I want to be empty before I go back out to the combine. And I think what's going to happen here, I can't remember how much grain is in here, but my goal is, and I'm going to let him unload because I'm pretty confident he's going to unload. My goal is to get 2 trucks going on this course at the same time. And so he does stop there in the middle of the truck, so I've got my weight point set fairly appropriately. And then if I get this second truck going here, if he pulls up behind this other truck, well, we're not going to get to see that actually right now because he already took off. but I think that the truck is gonna be able to figure this out with AutoDrive. I haven't had problems with traffic in AutoDrive before, so I'm really hopeful this is gonna work. And this truck is pulling up here to the appropriate point. And so he stops at his point. The Courseplay driver has detected that there's a truck there. And so as long as he starts unloading into him here in a second, I think I'm going to be a happy camper. And so we are unloading into the semi now, which is amazing. And then theoretically, this guy is going to get going back out to his combine. Now, I forgot to turn his combine on, so I am going to jump out here really quick, because otherwise he's going to have a hard time finding his combine if it's not actually running on the field. And so get this guy going. He'd gotten ahead of the other combine for a bit here, so I think at this point I'll have both combines running. And we emptied our grain cart out. The semi is not full yet, or not, near full. I don't know what AutoDrive's percentage is, but he's going to wait there. I'm really hoping this AutoDrive guy is going to stop right behind him. He is. And so this guy's going to wait until his combine is ready to be unloaded, I think, because the combines are set up to call at 50%, and he's only set up to go to the one combine that's up there. And so this guy here, we're going to set up, and we're going to put him on the other combine. And so I'm going to put him on the one that's down here in our field 21 area. It's kind of funny that Courseplay thinks that he's on field 21, even though we've redone that as field 16. As soon as this other grain cart guy gets going here, we're going to put this guy on the course as well. All right, so he's finally figuring out that there's probably no easy course to get out there, but he did figure it out eventually. So this is the problem with big fields in Courseplay, is pathfinding tends to be a little bit slow from time to time. But we are going to get this second grain cart going here. I'm going to turn on my start and end points just to get an idea of where we're going. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to tell him to get started at the first waypoint here. Now, he might just be detecting that he's empty and going to just go find a path to his combine without doing anything funny. And his is a lot closer, so it's probably a little bit easier for him to find the path out to unload him. And so with this, I've now got 2 grain carts running, one for each combine. And I'm hoping that as we get them full here, they're going to be able to go unload into this semi without any problem. The semis seem to be doing pretty good. They're just hanging out there. They're not crashing into each other yet, so I really suspect that this is going to work out for us. And honestly, I don't know how else we're going to tackle that huge field unless we get some automation. So I do think that having a third grain cart out on the field is going to be helpful at some point, just to keep up with all of these. Now, this other tractor seems to be having a little bit of struggles over here. It looks like he went right up underneath the header, and so I have no idea why he's so close here. Stop. I think I've had problems with this 8RT before, just not quite acting correctly with Courseplay. We might swap him out for a different tractor here at some point. I know the 9RT was working pretty good with the bigger grain cart. Maybe I just need to get him back out here and set that on this course and see what happens. All right, well, at least one of my unloaders is working appropriately here. I've always had really good luck with this particular grain cart, and so no complaints here. Everything just seems to work with it. And so, and this tractor is pretty fast too at the 32 miles an hour, so I'm no complaints there. This, however, this continues to be a problem. So we're going to stop driver, and I am going to try and swap out to a different tractor setup here. I'm going to go get the 9RT that already has the bigger cart on it and see if that is capable of doing this. I'm wondering if there's just something weird with the collision boxes or something on this 8RT that it just can't figure it out with Courseplay, because I know I've had problems with this tractor before. And so it's going back up here into the yard with the rest of the miscellaneous equipment that's driving me nuts today. We've got trailers and tractors parked all over the place today. All right, so after much finagling, we've managed to get both of our grain carts running on combine courses, set up with separate combines. And they seem to unload into the trucks. The part where we unload into the trucks seems to be working pretty good with AutoDrive and essentially single hopper trucks. I'm running these Wilson pace setters that have 2 hoppers, but the truck itself is set up as a single hopper. The struggle we've been running into more recently is actually pathfinding to get our grain carts out to a combine. For whatever reason, we started just running into a ton of problems with that. And so now we've got both of these tractors running on courses. We've updated them to be moved away from the combines a little bit. And yes, I leased a second 8RX because the 8RT and the 9RT seem to be having just a lot of struggles with steering. Courseplay doesn't tend to like these either articulated or single tracked tractors a lot of times. They were doing a lot of wiggling and a lot of getting stuck on stuff. And so we've switched out to the 8RXs. We're going to see how this goes. We are on the final pass. There's not that much corn left here. And so I'm kind of expecting this guy here, who is attached to the lead combine, to get going here shortly. My guess is, as always, he's probably going to want to get started here right as this combine's in front of him. That'd be my luck today. But as soon as we get going here, we should be able to fill this up as we catch up with the other combine. In fact, let's just go look at this other combine and see how full he is. We're at 50% just now, so he should be making a call for that grain cart. And yep, just now that we've switched away from it, you can see that the grain cart is running in the distance. And so he's going to come and empty us out here, and we're going to be able to hopefully see all of our efforts pay off here. You can see we've advanced through a good chunk of this day. It is now, 5 p.m.? I'm not even sure when we started harvest in this field, but I know I've spent 4+ hours of real-time troubleshooting Courseplay and AutoDrive, restarting the game, tweaking mods, and just doing all kinds of stuff. So I am really, really hoping that this starts to work out here for us, because if this does work, we're going to be in a pretty good spot to jump over here into field 21. If this doesn't start working, Ketter might finally just admit defeat on this whole Courseplay thing and go to playing really tiny maps. No, I'm just kidding. We'll figure something out. How you know it's been a really long day, I start talking about myself in the third person. So we can see here, this grain cart came right up alongside us without any issues whatsoever. It seems to work really well when the combine's already in motion. It's when the combine's stopped and we have to come up to it at an angle and then turn around and get lined up alongside that we tend to have a lot of problems. You can see the other grain cart setup is already unloading our other combine in the distance behind us there. And so this is one of those situations where when things work, they work. And it's super exciting. But when they're not working, it can be incredibly frustrating. Now, this combine's got a decent amount in the hopper still. I'm a little bit worried that we're not going to have enough to have this guy automatically go back. I'm thinking about turning this down to 75% right now. I think we'll hit 75%. I just want to make sure that when this thing is done dumping, that this grain cart goes back and we can see that this is actually going to work from start to finish. Because I think this is pretty much the end of this course here. Apparently there was more corn in this combine than I thought. We managed to get to 80%. So the grain cart's going to back out of the way. The combine should go do its thing. And then I expect this grain cart to find a way to go back, to the unload point here. And so we're going to just follow him all the way back to the unload point. I was a little nervous he was going to get in line with that other tractor and we were going to play chicken, but it seems like that's not the case. And so while he drives back, we're just going to come and stop this combine and get him out of the way so that his compatriot here can come up behind him and finish his rows. And so this is going to wrap up field 16. It's not a great feeling, and we're going to leave him down here. I'll probably clean up some of these corners manually just for the feeling of getting something accomplished on my own today. But I think this guy's just going to come back here and dump into these semis, which is going to be awesome. And so you can see that both of these semis are lined up here. They're both on with AutoDrive at the moment, and they haven't crashed into each other. And the benefit to using AutoDrive over Courseplay in this scenario is I don't have any annoying info messages on my screen telling me that the semis are waiting. And so they're just patiently doing their thing. And that's how I like it. So I think we are going to just completely switch to using AutoDrive for the trucking courses, hauling courses in general. I know I did that on the Millennial Farmer map and that worked out really well. I'm not sure why I'm getting a work tool needs to be unloaded message right now, but that's the other combine probably just is at the end row needing to be unloaded actually. He's probably done with his harvest, So here that semi got loaded up. I don't think he was completely full though. He kind of pulled off a little bit early there it looked like, but I'm not sure what that's about. I've got to wonder if that has anything to do with the settings we have in here around drive on at 75%. He's already dumping. I don't know if I can catch him fast enough to see how full he was. He's got 84% in here. So that's the confusing part. I don't know why AutoDrive would have pulled on at 84%. I bet if we fought, well, we're not going to probably have enough corn to fill this guy up altogether. But I'm kind of curious to understand why AutoDrive chooses to move on before the truck is actually full. I don't know. If anybody knows, is there any settings related to that somewhere that I'm missing? If I look in the advanced settings here, I don't see, it says wait if silo empty. This says unload fill levels 100%, but that's for combining. Like this guy's at 81% here as well. Oh, but he's still here, but that's because my grain cart is empty. If I come in this guy, I want to look at that same setting. Maybe, oh, unload fill level, 85%. I wonder if this actually does control that. So I'm going to go ahead and set that to 100% as well. And maybe that's going to fix that moving forward. And then this guy is actually all done here. So I can stop driver and kill off this course. And we're just going to pull this guy out of the way for the time being. Now, I'm wondering with all the changes I made, if we could get the 8RT working again, and we don't need this 8RX that we're leasing. That's definitely something that I want to try and look into. And it looks like at some point this guy got emptied out. So we're going to go ahead and stop driver on this one as well. And we should have our other 8RX here is back at the beginning. I'll bet anything that this lead semi actually gets to 100% before he takes off, because that's how we have it set up. And so knowing that that's how it works, that setting is in the AutoDrive menu, even though it's labeled for combines, I think that it's actually going to work for everything. Now that says 99%. I'd be curious to know if that's going to be a problem going on, but honestly, the trucks kind of move so fast and unload so fast that it's easier to toss another truck in here, even if they take off at 80-something%, than it is to deal with Courseplay anymore. So I think we're going to call it a win. I don't think we'll have enough corn to fill this thing up. I think we're going to probably run out about halfway, so that's okay. We're going to jump back into the 8RX and just be able to stop the Courseplay course once we get unloaded here. And so we are all unloaded. We are going to stop this driver. And this is me hoping that we've kind of solved our problems with how we're going to do this for the bigger field. I can't believe that it took us the entire field to sort that out, but it is what it is. And so we're going to just send this guy on his way back up to the bins to unload. And at some point here, we're going to have to figure out where we're going to be loading and unloading on field 21. But at least for the time being, we are going to call this a success, I guess, not a failure. We've managed to harvest the field. It was way more painful than we thought it would be, but it's done now, and we'll hope that we learn something and we can do this better on field 21 here. And so with that, I think we're definitely going to call it a day. This is the most time I've spent ever recording a single episode, so I have no idea how this is going to come together in editing. And so I guess I'll just say, if you made it to this point in the video, thank you for bearing with me. We'll do something hopefully a lot more streamlined on field 21. That's all for today. Kedurk out.